Hello, my dear students. 안녕하세요. So today we start topic number 3, and we continuously discuss the global strategies in high-tech industries. So that's why today I'm going to explain you how we may achieve competitiveness in the global environment, what kind of models and approaches may help us to build competitive strategy. Actually, last time we discussed the strategy planning process. That's why today I'm going to show you the results of this competitive strategy. So what kind of competitiveness we may achieve. And actually the another task which we have to follow today, how we may develop this competitiveness. So that's why the title of this topic is Development of the Companies or Projects International Competitiveness. Here you may find the content of my lecture. So we will look through the global projects competitive pathway. So what are the components of the global projects competitiveness? How can we combine different resources, issues, opportunities to achieve this competitive level? Actually, we will discuss the different models and approaches which help us to be more competitive with our startup project or business model in global environment. And first of all, I want to present your competence-based approach. And the last thing which I will discuss with you, it's the Mitchell-Porter model, because it's famous model. And all the global companies, even if they do not manage technologies in the global environment, but they want to achieve competitiveness and they want to develop their competitive strategies and behaviors, so they usually apply for the Mitchell-Porter approach. Okay, let's start. First of all, let's look through the different levels of the global competitiveness pathway. First of all, let's start with the level 0. So the 0 level, it means that we have the startup project for the beginning. And in this startup project, I will mention, level 0, so startup project we have here. So we started livelihood activity in the global market. What does it mean? Actually, during the level 0 startup project, we apply for some kind of idea. We arrange the business plan. Actually, we present the technology in this business plan. We may present the first draft of our strategy. Even we may present the results of market investigation. For example, we already done the market research and we understand exactly our opportunities and threats, our strengths and weaknesses, and we want to share these issues to our partners or to our customers. So here we have this level 0. Actually, we do not take care about the risk management during this step. Also, it's not necessary for us to transfer technology in the global environment, but actually during this step we may start our market search process. So it means that we're looking for the best markets in the global area and we try to make the comparison of the different markets or different regions, and also we may find the partners in the global area during this level 0. If we successfully complete the business plan and we investigate that it's the appropriate story for us to go abroad and start our global activity, so we move to the next level. And in this case, we achieve the level number 1. And the title of this level is Enterprise Development. So actually, when we enter the market, here we try to achieve the foreign market. And for us, it's necessary to develop our enterprise. How can we do this? What kind of activities do we have in this step? The first one, business registered with appropriate government agencies. So it means that we have strong correlation with and cooperation with the government structures and agencies. We presently producing for local markets, so we are producing something and we may produce our technology or service or product. So there is no criminal or civil complaints to our business. We are ready to update company profile. In this case, if we are talking about the technology project, so we're ready to update some kind of project steps if it's possible. And also we are ready to participate in different trade fairs, or we ready for the partnership in global environment. If we have enough resources and good opportunity to extend our market strategy, so we go to the level number 2, and the title of this level is market expansion. So actually, if we try to compare these levels with the different types of our global strategies, I hope that you remember from the previous topic that I showed you different types of the global strategies, and usually we start with the local business strategy and move to the global business strategy. So here we have the same application. Level 0, it means that we have national strategy here or local strategy. Level 1, enterprise development, we may start our regional strategy. For example, we just apply for the similar countries which have the similar economies, similar areas, geographic areas, similar technology development level. When we move to the level number 2, it means that we start our international strategy. That's why we want to expand our market. We want to expand our strategy. We want our project to be promoted in different areas. We want to achieve another customers, new one maybe. What kind of activities we may have during this step? For example, we repeat some activities from the previous step, but all these activities right now, they belong to the international environment. So in this case, we have some more risks because we have to adapt to another rules in other to build the friendship, for example, with new governmental structures, to find new customers in the global area and try to diversify our strategy and reach those customers. But also we expand our strategy, so it means that we participate more actively in the international cooperation. Maybe we modify our strategy and create more open-minded with the global mindset, understanding our strategy, and do other things. And if we successfully develop our business or successfully promote our project in the international market, so we may apply for the global business strategy. Here it means the level number 3. We have global business strategy. We understand the all markets, all the world as just one market. And we are looking for this market stability. So we want to achieve global markets, only one global market. We want to create stable strategy. We are still developed our technologies. Maybe through cooperation we may improve and achieve excellence in our technology management. And we try to arrange also globalization. So as I mentioned before, to be global in the different areas, but meet the local needs and wants of the customers. Okay, let's move forward. The first question, which you're sorry, I just passed through. So the next aspect which I want to discuss with you, it's the policies of improvement of international competitiveness. So what kind of policies may help us to improve this international competitiveness? Okay, actually here I mentioned only 4 areas where we may find these improvement policies, but I'm sure that in class we may continue this discussion and you may present the other examples of the improvement policies. So, but still, let's try to recognize the major policies. The first policy here, improving functioning of labor markets. As I mentioned before, the most important issue for the global projects, global startup projects, or global entrepreneurship be based on the human resource development. So we are usually based on the competencies. These competencies may appear among the employees. The managers, they have tasked to share the competencies, to deliver appropriate skills and knowledge and combine them with technologies which are developed in these projects. So that's why we have to look after the labor markets, understand what kind of skills do we have in open labor market, what kind of skills we may provide for that labor market. It also can be like the push activity for our technology to be developed there, because for example, that market doesn't have enough labor skills or labor competencies in that area, and our technology may help them to develop their competencies. So that's why they are ready to accept our technology, and we can promote our technology to that market. Okay, so what kind of issues may help us to be successful with these improvements? Investment in all levels of education and training. For example, if we try to evaluate the current labor market, we know that there is a huge investment in the human resource development here in Korea, and that's why the current companies, they are successful with the production of the new technologies and also with the distribution of these technologies. Also, the another issue may help us to be more successful with the international competitiveness. The second issue, encouraging in-work migration of skilled workers. So just keep the skilled workers inside your project, inside your company, inside your country. If you have some kind of outflow of the skilled labor force, so it's not appropriate way to rise and develop the technologies, yeah, because you lose the relevant skills, you lose the competitiveness. And the other one, improvements in management quality. So of course, in general, we have to understand how can we improve the management quality, how can we manage all the process, all the steps in the information and innovation process, all the steps in the technology management. The next area, the next group of policies which help us to improve international competitiveness, this is infrastructure investment. So the government structures, agencies, foreign investors, and even our own entrepreneurship should invest into the infrastructure. As I mentioned before, the most common risk in global cooperation between high-tech companies, the difference in the infrastructure. For example, I want to deliver my technology to the less developed country, but unfortunately they can't use the same technology because they do not have enough infrastructure. This is the problem. So in this case, how can we improve this area, this policy, and in which areas we may invest? In transportation, of course, so ports, high-speed rails, high-speed tracks, motorways, and other things. We have to take care about the environment, yeah, and we have to invest in some kind of green projects which also support the infrastructure. We should invest in different communications, yeah. So, for example, 5G technology, 6G technology, online technologies, blended learning technologies, artificial intelligence, deep learning, and other technologies which are necessary for high-tech industries nowadays, because all the companies, they have to manage a lot of data every day, and in this case these technologies may help them to manage the data in the appropriate way and reduce some kind of risks and reject the inappropriate data. Okay, the next policy, the next area of the policies which may help us to be more competitive in the global area with our startup project and entrepreneurship, the different supporting areas, yeah, support enterprise, entrepreneurship, and other activities. How can we do this? Actually, we may initiate some kind of networks, professional networks, or just collaborative networks in the global environment. Also, there should be some kind of reductions in business red tape. It means that it's better to create some industrial standards, but we have to understand that all the companies or all the enterprises from the other countries, they should have access to these standards, and they have the opportunity, they should have the opportunity to understand the standards and maybe study these standards. And we have to provide such kind of opportunity. If we initiate the standards, if we developers of some kind of new standard technology, so we have to spread our knowledge and provide some kind of workshops or education based on these technologies. Yeah, of course, we have to be based on the innovation and invention. So invent more, create more radical or incremental innovations. Always be innovative and support our creativity process. And of course, the last policy, which should be mentioned here, how can we achieve this international competitiveness? We should take care about the macroeconomic stability. So every time, even if we present a small startup project or we are belong to the small size organizational design, we have to understand the macroeconomic stability. We have to analyze all the markets. So we have to investigate the price policies, inflation, sustainability and competitive banking system, transactions, what kind of financial transactions we may have, what kind of investment strategies we may choose, for example, green investment strategies, or we prefer merger and acquisition strategies. And of course, we have to take care about the competitive exchange rate and major trading partners with whom we should arrange this trade system, with whom we may build laboratory and arrange R&D, or with whom it's better to share the to build a joint venture and just share the resources. Yeah. What's next? Here I submit the sample product development framework. Yeah, and I want you to understand these 6 levels or 6 phases of the product development framework. Actually, in the global environment, if we present the high-tech startup, or we present the new company, in high-tech industries, usually we have to arrange this new product development process. In this case, let's look through these steps, all the steps, and try to find the benefits and risks in each step, and try to understand what kind of activities should we provide for each step. Okay, phase number 1, we start with market research and concept development. If you try to make the comparison between the innovation process and the new product development process, you will find a lot of similar things. Do remember that I explained you the steps of the innovation process, and the first step was also market research. Yeah? Before you apply for the creativity process, before you generate your idea, you have to check all the opportunities in the global markets. That's why we have this market research and concept development. So what actually we do during this phase? Market analysis, and even if we try to enter only one foreign market, I recommend it to check at least 2 or 3 other markets at the same region, because you have to understand the competitive factors of the chosen market and also the some kind of threats. Screening. Idea generation and idea screening should be here. What kind of tools may help us to choose the appropriate idea for our project? For example, brainstorming and in-class activity, we will try to arrange the brainstorming to choose the best idea. Also, we may choose the Delphi and Delphi method. Yeah, it's very similar, very close to the brainstorming, but this method, the second method, has some kind of opportunities. And after that, we develop the concept and arrange the feasibility study. Yeah, so study, it means how we can identify our project, what are the major steps, the major roles of our team members, and other things. Yeah. If we successfully completed the phase number 1, we move to the phase number 2. Phase number 2, business case. Actually, during this business case, we have to arrange the business plan. That's why we create the strategy considerations. Actually, we arrange the strategy planning process, which we already discussed with you during the previous topic. We have to identify the business impacts, for example, the staff who will work in our project, what kind of competences do they have, what kind of systems we will use. For example, information systems, quality control systems, prototype development systems, manufacturing systems, logistics systems, and other issues. Of course, we should create the business case risks assessment and also prevent some kind of risks from different aspects: financial risks, logistics risks, customization risks, marketing risks, and other risks, and do financial analysis. Usually, through the financial analysis, we have to investigate two different areas. The first area, cost analysis: what's happened with our costs, how can we manage them, and how can we reduce them. And the second area, revenue streams. So what are the ways for our revenues, how can we get this revenue, from which statements, from which cooperation, and how can we arrange some savings. After that, we move to the phase number 3. It means the product requirements and project management. So based on our market research and based on our strategic planning, we arrange these business requirements. It can be some kind of document, for example, the R&D or PR&D document, product and business requirements document. Here we should arrange the project planning. So this project planning based on our strategy plan. Additionally, we should submit the schedule of our project and also calculate all the resources. What kind of resources do we need to pass through all the steps of this project. And product requirements document. So it means that we create some kind of products profile where we defined our design, technology which will be implemented into the product production, the equipment, and other features of the product development first. The next step, the phase number 4, solution definition and design. So here we arrange the technical solution definition and design of our product, of our concept. Also, we should implement the business system solutions and create this business design, like the business model, where we submit our values, repeat the resources, identify the needs and wants of the customers, and of course show the strategies and operations, how we are going to satisfy our customers with our product or technology. And of course we present the product definition itself, or we describe the technology itself. After that, we move to the phase number 5. The phase number 5, we have here solution build and optimization readiness. So solution design and planning. What we do here, again, we do the technical solutions and the design, but with the metrics. So during the previous step, it was necessary to arrange the metrics, but right now it's necessary because we have to evaluate everything. Business system solutions definition and design, also we have to submit some metrics. We repeat from the previous phase, but we add the metrics for each step. And product documentation. So we may apply here for intellectual property protection if we are talking about the technology in the global environment, or at the same time we may take care about the product itself. For example, we want to arrange some kind of community or collaboration with our foreign partners and investigate the concept of the product. And after that, we move to the last phase, phase number 6, product launch and life cycle. So actually we are apply for the launch and life cycle management. What actually we have to do here? We are investigate the commercial launch strategy and define the product life cycle management. So you should understand that each product, each technology has its own life cycle. Usually we are talking about the 4 stages of this life cycle. When we are develop this technology, the first stage, development, the next stage, the second stage, rising. So we push this technology or our product into the market. The third stage will be maturity, when we already push this technology into the market, or we already sold the first part of our products and we have the customers and they like our product or they prefer to use our technology. And the fourth last stage will be decline, some kind of negative stage. So in class, we will discuss more briefly all these stages, and we will discuss the risks in each stage and how to prevent the decline stage of this life cycle. Okay, let's move next. Here, the most famous approach in the global environment, which helps us to be more competitive. This approach is called like the competence-based approach. It means that everything what we do for our project, for our strategy development, we are do with competencies. And right now, I'm not talking only about the individual competencies, but I'm talking about the organizational competencies. In this case, you can see here on the left the examples of the competencies in the global area. We may have individual competencies, professional competencies, cognitive competencies. They belong to the personal level. So these three types of competencies, they belong to the one person. Yeah, it means that if we are looking for the best professional competences, we should search the best employee or best manager for our project. But for sustainability, if we want to develop sustainable competitive strategy in the global environment, and we do not want to depend on the individuals in the global environment, so it's better to be based on the organizational competencies. It means that the company or the high-tech project or startup project itself may have the organizational competencies or project competencies. They're usually stable, they belong to the project, not to the people, and even if you lose some kind of employees, core employees, and they move out from your project, you do not lose these competencies. Yeah, so that's the task for the global companies, high-tech companies, and the global high-tech startups. They have to create these organizational competencies and try to develop them. Yeah? And here you may find the definition of the core competencies. What does it mean? Actually, core competencies are hard to copy. It's important to just take this competence, take this technology and copy it to another area. Usually all these competencies, they are included in the value chain analysis of the company. So it means that they impact on values and they help project to add new values for the product or create new values. Yeah, and of course in general these core competencies improve the global competitiveness, so that's why we discuss this approach. And here you may find the first question as the home task. So please be ready with this question. You may answer this question orally, or you may submit your written answer, no more than 1 page. Please try to provide examples of the core competencies in the global area. Yeah, so you may choose any kind of global company and try to find the core competencies of that company. And the last model, which I want to discuss with you, my dear students, the Mitchell-Porter model. So here you can see the Porter-Diamond model. It's very famous because actually Mitchell-Porter tell us and describe the specific tool, how to recognize the global environment and how to investigate the opportunities which may happen in global environment to improve our competitiveness. And he tells us that actually we have some forces, 5 forces in the global environment which may affect our strategy. For high-tech industries, for high-tech companies, it's very useful. This approach is very useful. And that's why we have to investigate these 5 areas. So the first area, the company itself, the company strategy, structure, and rivalry. So Michael Porter tell us that please try to understand your internal environment and investigate your internal environment. What kind of strategy do you have? What kind of business model do you have? What kind of core competencies do you have? After that, this is the first force. The second force, demand conditions. Yeah. So he tells us that please try to investigate the market. What kind of demand do you have in that market? Do they really need your technology or product? And what's happened with the another products or competitive products and technologies in those markets? The third area, related and supported industries. The third force which are discussed by Michael Porter. So, related and supporting industries, it can be our suppliers, it can be our distributors, actually even it can be our customers who may help us to promote our products, services, or startup projects. Yeah, The fourth factor conditions. So he tells us, this wonderful researcher tells us that please try to investigate all the external factors which may affect your strategy. And the fifth condition, the government issues. So you have to build friendship with the government because the government agencies or government organizations, they may help us with industrial standards, standardization issues, and with legal resources. Yeah, especially it's important for high-tech industries in global environment because most of the high-tech industries, they have directly national standards or they support the national markets. Yeah, this is the reason. Okay, the next one, not only concept of the Michael Porter help us to investigate the global area, but also there is another model of Rugman and Cruz. So they tell us that international competitiveness of an industry, and we are talking about the high-tech industries, is not only dependent on its home industry diamond, conditions, which presented by the Mitchell Porter, but also on those of trading partners. So if you apply for the competitiveness in the global area, please try to compare your project or your company or your product, high-tech product, with the similar products of your partners. Yeah, in this case, you will find more benefits. The most famous tool, market research tool in this area, benchmarking. And I will show you the concept of benchmarking in our practical class. Yeah. And the last model which I want you to explain, the 5 sources model and the corresponding of this model with the Porter model. So you see the table here, the left side of the table, the features of the Porter's 5 force model, which we already discussed. And on the right, you may find this 5 sources model. Yeah. And if you try to build the correlation or correspondence between these features, you will find the common things. Yeah. For example, the Porter tells us that please think about the suppliers, the external members of the market. And here through the 5 sources model, you can find a recommendation. How can I think about this? Suppliers or distributors? Just build the vertical collaborations. Why not? Yeah. Or maybe the horizontal collaborations with the market competitors is possible. So actually all these models, they're very helpful for understanding the competitiveness in the global environment and which tools and tips may help us to build this competitiveness in the global environment. And one more thing, if we want to apply for the sustainable competitiveness in the global environment, we should create this value chain, global value chain. And this value chain helps us to understand better all our partners, our customers, share and transfer our knowledge and technologies to the other members of the market. And here you can find the components of this value chain. Corporate social responsibility helps us to improve our competitiveness. Shared value from our project also help us to be more competitive. The value net activities help us to be more competitive, and the blue ocean strategy. And the last question which I want to submit, what is the blue ocean strategy? Find the examples and submit it in class. We will discuss what does it mean, and I will help you a little bit. Actually, we have 2 different strategies, blue ocean strategy and red ocean strategy. So to find the answer for this question, please try to compare blue ocean strategy and red ocean strategy. Both of these strategies, they help to achieve competitiveness in the global environment. And here the last slide, I want to show you the global competitiveness index. So actually we may investigate 2 different indexes in the global environment when we are looking for the competitiveness. This index may help us to understand our level of competitiveness. So that's why we have to check this index and find more information. How we should investigate this index? So we have different sub-index inside. The first sub-index, basic requirement sub-index, approximately 33%. It takes in the whole competitiveness index. It means that when we try to enter the foreign market, we may investigate those markets with competitiveness. So what is the level of the competitiveness in that market? Yeah. We check the macroeconomic environment, institutions which are presented in that market, infrastructure, and health and primary education. Yeah. The Nadia part of this competitiveness index, the efficiency enhancer sub-index. What we should do: understand the financial markets, evaluate the higher education and training system. Goods market efficiency also is very interesting for us. Also, we have to check the labor market efficiency, market size, and technological readiness. Yeah, it's very important, especially for our high-tech markets. And only 70% belongs to the innovation and sophistication factor sub-index, business sophistication and innovation itself. Yeah, what's happened with the innovation and how can we recognize this business sophistication with this innovation. So you see, before we try to enter the foreign market with our startup project, before we try to initiate our competitive strategy, we have to check this competitiveness index in that market. Yeah, and here just another example of already done global competitiveness index between Uganda, African country, and middle income country. For example, eastern part of Europe, Poland. Yeah, let's take the Poland. And here you have the areas. What do they investigate? Actually, all these indicators, they come from these sub-indexes. Yeah, if you check. And first of all, the blue area, this is their measurement of the Uganda. Yeah, they have less development indexes, unfortunately. And the red circle, it means the middle income country. Of course, you see that Poland has more competitiveness, more attractiveness for the global investors and for the high-tech industries than Uganda country. Yeah. Okay, that's all for today. So other questions we will discuss in class. Thanks a lot for active listening. Again, don't forget about your home task, and I wish you good luck. See you. Bye.